and welcome to the Second Opinion Dentist 101. I am Dr. Bo Gram, DDS. Today I want to make a video about preparing yourself for when you have meetings or encounters with experts. This is pretty much what I do on this channel. Because I believe it is very important that you are prepared, or that you feel prepared at least, and that you give yourself the time. It's a mental thing, I believe. You have to decide, you have to first of all ask yourself, how do I feel about this encounter? Am I nervous? Am I confident? Do I feel that I am ready for this situation? And you have to understand also that it's important that you're not putting yourself under stress, meaning that in my case as a dentist, you really don't want to have acute situations or make too many decisions in an acute situation, because then you are under stress, of course, and you don't give yourself the time to find the right kind of answer. Of course, if you are in acute pain, the right kind of answer is to relieve the pain, and that's all. This is, as I said, a mental thing, but you need to be honest to yourself about how you feel. It's very easy, perhaps especially for men, to say that, well, I'm not afraid, I don't care, I can handle this. It's not really about handling, it's about being able to realize how you feel and be honest to yourself. And then more often than not, the situation will be much better than you expect. And also, you are aware, you have situational awareness, and that is very important. I mean, certain things are being done so that you master certain feelings when you go to a place. There's a reason that if you go to, at least here in Europe and in many places in cities, you go to a court, the handle is up here, and you feel small before you even get in there. This is on purpose. There's a lot of psychology in this, and therefore if you are telling yourself, well, I actually am nervous, I mean, you'll be better off in any way. And even better if you admit to the people that you are encountering that you have this situation, but it doesn't really matter what they think. So it's important to be prepared. And it is, as I say, a mental situation. So you want to come to an encounter with an expert where you are calm as possible, and you want to be able to give yourself as much time as you need, because sometimes these people the experts will want you to make a decision, and they will convince you that you have to make a decision right now. I don't know if it's on purpose, but everybody can understand that if you have to make a quick decision, the chance that it becomes the right decision is slimmer, no matter who you are. I don't care if you are very good at making decisions. Anybody can make decisions. God knows a lot of people do. Fewer people can make good decisions. In this video I want to touch upon some of these options you have to prepare yourself. And the first one is to become an expert yourself. That is a pretty tall order, I'd say. In my case, as a dentist, I do the normal school, high school, college, whatever, and then you do 5 years university, and after that 30 years of clinical experience. So that is not realistical if you have, let's say, just two things you have to encounter experts in two areas. You have spent your entire life. And this is why I believe that there are other options that I will return to. So maybe becoming an expert is a bit of a tall order. You can of course study on the internet, you can Google, you can do whatever, but you are up against a person who has studied this for many years, and on top of that they have a lot of practical experience. Probably becoming an expert is a bit of a probably not the right way to go. Of course, you can always go and look into the subject and here, but most of the time people actually ask other people that are also not experts, and that's hardly beneficial to the result. So there are other ways of dressing yourself up to encountering any kind of expert actually. As I mentioned in the intro, it is important that you are mentally stable, that you understand how you feel and you accept how you feel, and that you also understand that nobody can push you to do any kind of to make any kind of decisions. But being an expert, becoming an expert is difficult. I mean, in my life I had experience with lawyers, so I should become a lawyer. I also use, for instance, accountants, so I also have to become an accountant. And I am a dentist, so I also have to be a dentist. And what's the next thing? I get children, I have to be a pedagogue. I mean, this is not really viable. But this is part of my idea about second opinions. But luckily there are other ways, and I'll touch upon them. Intuition is a very useful tool in this situation, since you have decided possibly not to become an expert. So, and I think it's actually very useful when you are encountering an expert. Many different things comes in. You have to have the situational awareness, meaning that, do I trust this person? Does he seem to me to be trustworthy? Of course, he might be a very good actor, but still, the more you are aware of the situation and the persons in the situation, and you give yourself the time, the more you can allow your intuition to come into play. Intuition is like a road with two ditches, one on each side. One ditch, you're absolutely naive and you believe anything anybody tells you. On the other side, there's another ditch saying that you are, you're very distrustful and you don't believe anything or anybody. Both these ditches are places you don't want to go. The first thing is obvious, you will get cheated all the time. The other ditch is like, well, you will be completely locked down, I'd like to say, and frozen. There will be no action, there will be nothing that will happen in your life because you just distrust everything and you kind of probably want to go and hide somewhere. So it kills all initiative and all development if you are just distrusting everything and anybody. So you want to be somewhere in the middle, and that is probably what you want to be in most situations in your life. So you have a case and you want to make a decision, and you can say, this is decision A, and that sounds perfectly sensible. And unfortunately, decision B also sounds perfectly sensible. And that means only one thing: you need more information, you need more info. And you need to wait for this info until you can make a decision, until either A or B alternative appears to be the obvious answer. Another thing you can do is if you want to make a decision about, say, traveling, and you have a lot of arguments, and generally the more arguments and the more talk that goes on in your head, the less certain you are of the answer, because when you have the answer, it will be yes or no. And then I use a little trick where I say, well, okay, then come up with the opposite answer. If you say, yes, I want to travel, but on the other hand, it's expensive and this and that, well, then you say, well, I stay home. No, you say, and that actually is your answer. You should not stay home, you should travel, or vice versa. You gotta be the devil's advocate a little bit and say that, what if I made the opposite decision? Would that produce a clear and loud answer? And it should be yes or no. And as long as the discussion goes on, you should allow yourself the time until you come to the point where you make a decision, where the decision feels good. I mean, nobody knows tomorrow, and things may change. But time is of an essence. Get more time, get more information until you feel you have made the right decision. And do not allow anybody any authority to kind of overrun you in any way, and you have to respect yourself and give yourself the time, and the right answer will come up. Because having no answer would just, or two answers that are to your mind are equally good, obviously is like flipping a coin, and that's not what you want to do. So give yourself time, do not stress, do not allow authority to bear down on you and put you under pressure. And understand that, well, if you don't have an answer, you don't have an answer. Just wait, think about it, meditate about it, and the right answer will be there. That will be your intuition. Sometimes the intuition comes even before you have the time to ask any questions, and it just pops into your head, that's what I have to do. And that's a nice sensation, because you are absolutely sure about your project and you know what you're going to do. So what I say is you have to question more answers than you answer questions. That is important, especially when you are with an expert that can benefit from your or not benefit from your action, whatever you choose to do, from your choice. That is a dangerous situation. If you want to be in charge, of course, it may be good, and he may be a good expert, but he may be the opposite. And you're the one ending up with the responsibility and the treatment or whatever it is. So use your intuition, feel the situation, make sure you are happy with your decision. So if you decided not to become an expert because it takes too long time and there are too many areas then that you have to be an expert upon, and if your intuition is not enough to give you a clear answer and you still end up with two alternatives, well, then of course there is the second opinion dentist in this case, or the second opinion whatever. And these people, of course, have to be absolutely removed from any kind of benefit from your decision. This is important. This is very important. Because even if an expert tries to give you, tries to be objective, it is a very difficult thing to be. And it's easier if you say, I could care less what you choose. And therefore my information to you would be unbiased, and this of course is very important. And using a second opinion from another expert is much more valuable than using the second opinion from your family members or friends, because they know what's going on. They have gone through this extended education and hopefully some years, probably a lot of years of actual practical experience. So if you combine the second opinion dentist with your intuition, then you will hopefully have a completely clear answer to your treating dentist, the one that has to perform the actual treatment, and you will feel comfortable. So when I ask people what they want to do, they say, but I'm not a dentist. This is something I come across a lot. And I say, I understand that, but you are an expert on your economy, and that will be hopefully true. And that would be the thing that nobody can tell you anything about. So, use your intuition, have situational awareness, be very much aware of what you feel about the situation, if you feel comfortable, if you feel well informed and able to make the decision. Otherwise, ask more questions, and then finally, for your complete satisfaction, ask the second opinion dentist -101. Or in other situations, if it's about law or whatever, ask somebody else with the expertise. In my case, it's about teeth. So that was what I want to say about this. Make sure that you make the right decisions, and the right decisions are the right ones for you. You ask another person, they will have a different opinion about what is right and what is wrong, and you want to find out what is right and wrong for you, and use the tools you have. I mean, by all means become an expert if you want to, or use your intuition, the whole situation, what's going on, how does it feel, how do you feel about this situation, and then use a second opinion expert that is completely free of interest in whatever you decide and your choices. And then you should be ready to make the decision. It may sometimes, of course, be the decision you don't want to, and that's a different story. Then again, that will actually create some clarity for you, because you say, no, I don't want to follow any kind of advice that I get from anybody, and maybe that's what you have to do. But in many cases, you'll feel more comfortable if another expert has taken a look, and maybe even if they say, well, I completely agree with the dentist that is going to help you physically, and that makes you feel more comfortable and more confident that you have chosen the right thing. So, like and subscribe, give a comment. Some of them I'll answer, some of them I won't, if you have any questions. And if you have your personal dental problems, I am in the process of getting a website up where you can ask that for a fee. That's a different story. But here I am done for today, for this video. So goodbye.